managed to close out in regulation. Coastline now. For one of these teams, it will be a continuation through the Japan Championship. For the other, their road ends here.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it for us as spectators and as viewers, casters, and etc. But for these players, it's so somewhat disappointing, isn't it? Because you just would love for both of them to be able to continue on. We've seen so many good signs from both teams. Lion banned out, pretty normal on Coastline. Blue Bees have had good moments, but I think over the course of this entire best of three, you can't go past Donuts USG being probably the better team, as we are going to see Ying and Mirror taken off the board by Blue Bees.
You can see into the future, can you, mate? I believe it. I believe it. I mean, it's every single map in the Japan Championship. They banned it. Oh!
Oh no! They've changed it up.
Broken. They have changed it.
Honestly, the Valkyrie was something that was being utilized by USG quite extensively, so it is something that they won't have to worry about.
And the Melusi ban once again, that does leave Mirror in, and you know, funnily enough, Mirror is actually really, really strong on Coastline. There's a lot of really strong Mirror spots that you can find, particularly holding upstairs, you know, Penthouse Theater. Even if you're just extending a roam over there, like Mirror can make or break the roam clear. So having that slip through, I wonder if Blue Bees had expected Donuts USG to ban it, because I feel like from their perspective, they probably would have expected the Melusi ban, knowing that that's just what Donuts USG love to ban out. But nonetheless, no Mirror in the first round. I feel like we'll see it eventually, but for now, another pretty pivotal operator that has snuck through the veto phase is the Flores. Banned out on map number 2, very prevalent in map number 1.
Yeah, it tends to get banned out on more than any other map on Oregon. Outside of that, though, he does find the ability to slip through and have a bit of an impact. Not as prevalent on Coastline as he generally would be on Oregon, but should still be a very impactful operator. Nice to see Blue Bees bringing him early on here. Obviously, we did see a lot of Flores on Villa as well, so this is to be somewhat expected. In fact, very similar lineup, team composition so far from Blue Bees, as they would be bringing on Villa anyway. The Nook having a large presence. It's why we obviously saw the Lion get banned out as well from USG. There's going to help enable, or sort of, not help enable, but help bring this roam game of Blue Bees a little bit lessened. So defensively though for USG, the Echo, not so sure on that one. The Capcan though, and the EDDs, which we've already seen have some impact actually earlier on Oregon, and the rest of it pretty standard. But yeah, the Echo does stand out a little bit to me.
Wow, that is a high drone. That's a big drone. Yeah, you really get to see the map from such a high angle, but I love it. Yeah, good roam. Like you said, the Lion being banned is going to make it a lot more difficult to isolate these roamers. You can see most of the utility from Blue Bees is actually fairly like kind of anchor counter centric, but you know, diverse in its nature as well. A lot of options for the Blue Bees roster. Wow, just the way that Twitch drone can just clear utility from afar is pretty insane. The unlimited range of the laser means that utility can be on the other side of the map. You can still shut it down. Bit of good map control here already taken. Isro, the man of the hour that we tend to point at for Blue Bees in those aggressive positions, already found himself upstairs. And Nelfa as well, cutting off this rotation. Who is that in Sunrise? I believe it is Carwow. Oh!
Well, Carwow makes his presence known with the elimination onto Ruin. That's the Ash dead. Sayajad knocked as well. Surely can find it. A second one here is what? No, that punch just stops way too short. I think that might have just been an instinct trigger pull on that Nitro Cell. Can actually now rotate back up through Cool Vibes upstairs, expecting maybe the push to come in through Hooker. Opens up the hatch, can now actually create a bit of a sightline down below as well. Still a minute 15 seconds as Isra on the Nook just sneaks in, gets the kill onto Ren. Does have to be careful of those EDDs.
Slow and steady now for Blue Bees as they just turn this pace down a notch. No need to overextend. They have that man advantage. Coastline, the nature of it is that defense will often try to make players try and get aggressive. You can focus on shutting that down when you have the advantage. While time does whittle down, you do need to make sure not to let the other team back into it. In particular, I'm looking at a player like Kayo, rather, with the Yokai drones ready to do a lot of damage in the late round. Only 25 seconds left. Might be a 4v2, but they've got to get moving.
Oh, Alpha's just gone big so far here in this round.
15 seconds remaining.
Or can this actually be a play off of this diffuser down to... Oh! Bullock has gone too!
Oh my
Isro
god.
just says, let's stop this nonsense. Decent little effort, but all for naught from Kayu, who's already had some big clutches earlier on in the first couple of maps as well. We should preface very early on in the piece here though, Dev, is that one thing that we've seen from Blue Bees for this entire best of 3 is they start very well in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, it tends to be the mid game that's dominated by USG. Found 4 defenses in a row when they played Oregon after losing the first 2. And you would definitely expect Coastline to be a more attacker-sided map in the Japan Championship so far. Only marginally, 55% attack round win, so you'd expect a 4-2 or a 3-3 on the attack and probably be satisfied. So I think Blue Bees, while they have started strong, that's kind of an expectation for them at this point as well, isn't it?
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Yeah, especially attack on Coastline as well, so that even sort of doubles it up, right? Where there's going to be those kind of expectations. I think when we sort of think back to Oregon, it was the fact that they started so well on their attack on Oregon that maybe got us a little bit excited in the thought prospect that they were maybe going to be able to run away with their map pick, and then of course it all kind of turned on its head. But you would be expecting them to do well here on Coastline. I don't have the statistics in front of me. Obviously Villa and Oregon both defender-sided, so basically those two maps matching basically the international scene. You would then imagine Coastline will be the same.
Love this aggression. As always, USG looking to make plays, looking for aggression. Loser Bees have been pretty good at shutting that down for the most part, however. Still, Rento hasn't been taken out and has managed to still stay alive in Sauna. Hasn't even been spotted yet. Like, no one from Blue Bees is really pushing him, strangely enough. If they take control of Blue Bar, they can cut off his retreat. Oh my god, the timing there was perfect for Renzo, and that is an early pick down. Peeked out before the Claymore lasers had activated. Now he is cut off and separated from the team.
Nalva definitely going to be a threat. Pushing in from Blue Bar. And Redman just sort of reconfirms that is diffuser down outside, can play from that position and be a thorn in the side. But Saherchen expecting the diffuser to be watched, and he is correct and will be able to find that kill. Makes it 4 versus 4. Diffuser has been reacquired with a minute and a half remaining. Alpha now inside a Blue Bar can get to work trying to clear this utility above, or just trying to match that Inox scanner. Kayu actually takes a big chunk of damage, but finds a kill onto Isro.
Kayu has done a lot of work with the Maestro in previous matches. We've seen that massive 1v3 clutch on Villa. Now, Donuts USG can just kind of sit safe, passive, not sweat too much. Nelfa's got to find this here. Got lots of pings out on DD above the stairs, but DD is holding the angle and waiting, and got the goo mines as well. When's that head gonna pop up? There it is, and shut down. 1v4 now for Ruin, and that's the end of it. DD shuts it down. USG, a strong defense round for them.
Yeah, and kind of goes against the grain a little bit. against what we've seen in the earlier maps in this best of 3, where it's typically BlueBees that start very strongly, winning the first couple of rounds. They had a 3-1 start on Villa, a 2-0 start on Oregon. But for USG, they deny that early start. And that can either mean one of two things, either a sign of things to come, that maybe USG are just starting to really pull ahead entirely in this best of 3, and maybe this will be where they really flex their muscles, or it's simply just a storyline thing where finally the storyline will flip. Maybe USG will deny BlueBees that early start, but maybe BlueBees will have a very strong mid game. So
need to locate and defuse as many
one thing's for certain though, both Villa and Oregon, very, very close between these two teams. I'm expecting Coastline to be the same, but for that to happen, BlueBees need a decent attack.
Going back to Kitchen though was very much a bottom side that USG really struggled on. BlueBees were just absolutely dominant. They started with the opening pick onto Pero, who is often the one for USG playing those aggressive positions, and it really just spiraled. It didn't end up close at all. I believe it was Caillou in a 1 versus 4, and even though he found a couple of kills on that, it doesn't really mean much at the end of the day. So BlueBees should have a lot of confidence going into this attack. A lot of trap ops though. I mean, we're seeing the frost mats all over the place. Some really, really strange frost mats here. Comes C4, just shy of that. I think Ruin stopped running at the right moment. That C4 was well timed, but Ruin made sure to dodge it, so credit to him.
So there's one little piece of utility that has been expended early. Only one more Nitro Cell available on the side of USG through Kawa, who's going to be very careful in this position. That's just a Gemini. Of course, has that Frostbite as well. Might try and bait someone into it. Little shot's going to be tapped, but no heads to be found. Not just yet, anyway. Just trying to be a bit of a nuisance, make life difficult. That's a very precarious, prone position. Kawau has made the cross. Nelfa's going to be so careful.
Just waiting. Just waiting to see whether Kawau's going to get aggressive. As 3 players start to really put some pressure on this position. That's a nice nade, but that's not where he was standing. He wasn't behind the bar. Quite mobile and does take down another drone. Only 7 left now. While they have started to really cut off Kawau, they really need to do a lot more than that. Here comes a C4. That's a heck of a lot of damage. Kawau is playing this position so well, not overextending, about to be droned out again. Sayachan really needs to take control of Office, take down this first pick, but doesn't quite commit to the fight. DD protecting Kawau, who's been enabled to find one before being traded back.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
1 for 1, but so much time extinguished by Kawau. Only a minute, 15 seconds remaining. Sayachan's already given away his position here and allows the Legion to make the cross. DD doesn't get punished. Sayachan really needed to be able to find that down and that elimination. And unfortunately may come back to bite them. Isro, elsewhere, finds the kill on Pero. Putting that Nook to good use on a site like Coastline as well. You expect it. Isro's been a little quiet since Villa. But a good start here, 3-1 on Coastline. Can this be the map where he finds that form once again?
Really feeling this pressure on site now, the USG players. Spotted out by the Gemini as well. Akayo. Oh my god, there's a flank from DD, but Sayachan does not miss this time around. 4v2 now, when this is looking very similar to what we saw in the previous attack on this bomb site. 20 seconds, the execute no doubt is about to come through, but that's a nice shot there from Rento. And this is very winnable. And another pick now for Akayu. This is so possible! Rento! What is that?
What is that attack, though? 1 by 1, they just push through the same doorway. Too one-dimensional. And too easy then for USG to defend it, despite the man disadvantage. And just cool, calm, and collected under the pressure as well for Rento. And Caillou as well. On site, good positions, good angles being held. They had basically all of the entry points still covered. And USG kind of right now are looking like the superior team. The team that deserves to move forward here in the Japan Championship. The team that's likely to maybe go to the semi-finals.
The winner of this match will await the winner of our next match, which will be Gogan versus Fav Gaming in the semi-finals. These are two Japan Open teams here in the Japan Championship. And, I mean, they have such an opportunity to go far, to go deep in this bracket. Both teams have had phenomenal starts. Blue Bees already taking down a Japan League team and APAC North relegation team in Sengoku Gaming. Donuts had a fantastic group stage, receiving them straight into this position. Both of these teams are fighting harder than they ever have before, punching above their weight, further than they have ever gotten before.
Attackers are moving
And
to defuse
one
the
step
bomb.
closer to that semi-final, to that championship.
Can't get ahead of ourselves though too early. Alpha with the opening kill here in the 4th round. Straight into Blue Bar. Could actually just make the on-site defense a little bit weaker. The Mirror making its presence known here. Caillou, of course, typically banned out by Blue Bees on a very extensive basis, but they've allowed it through this time. Might come back to bite them. And all I want to point out here, Dev, is 4 Nitrocells still available for USG.
Potential for some info as well on the back of the tested drones. Should Carwow be able to catch any, even the mirror windows could enable some vertical C4s. Wow, look at this. This is going to be an aggressive run out. Surely it is. Don't think he realizes there's a player off to the left. Come on, Caillou. Oh no, that was a disaster. Isro able to give it a free kill. Saya-chan as well. Palunga jumps in the fray. It's just Rento versus 5. Can find the first one. Taking down Ruin. But Isro is ready and waiting. Teases him out with a quick peek. That diffuser is going to go down, and before too long, Blue Bees will find their second round.
Activating the diffuser.
Yeah, and it just sort of signifies that this is very much going to be back and forth on Coastline. Rento's been great. Gets a little bit of help from Nelfa as well, apparently. Of course, the diffuser already planted, 30 seconds, no real time. Not going to be a realistic chance unless Blue Bees severely misplay this, but even then, don't think a misplay would spell the end of the round. So it should be 2-2, and it will be 2-2. Back and forth we go here on Coastline. Can one of these two teams pull away in the final 2 rounds of this first half? Remains to be seen right now, and hard to predict as to who it will be.
Attackers win.
The Blue Bees stay composed, significant man advantage, and they don't let it slip despite the team kill. 2 rounds apiece, and look, this is where Blue Bees should really be hoping to pick up some momentum and push forward with a couple of more rounds on their attacking side. So far, Coastline's had 55% of rounds in the attacking side, 1 within the Japan Championship. So we would definitely be looking at Blue Bees to push through on here. Both these teams have played a bit of Coastline before. Blue Bees actually less so. Considering that this is the decider map, you'd be hoping that USG's history on this map and their significant wins, you know, 7-3 against Enterforce, for example, in the group stage, would be providing enough experience on the map to really hold on their defensive side. In particular, you can see the depth of strategy. Like, not a lot of teams would run mirror strats here, but I think playing on this kitchen with the mirror extension top floor is absolutely the right thing to do for USG, especially considering Blue Bees clearly don't like playing against a mirror. Wait, this is a penthouse defense. This isn't... I thought this was kitchen with an extension above. This is actually just penthouse. That's even more depth.
So about to say as well, Mirror though, very decent here on Pen Theater. So again, the Mirror, as I said, it's why I was a little bit surprised as to why it got allowed through for 2 reasons. One, Mirror has some really good uses here on Coastline, but obviously, as we know, BlueBees just tend to ban it out a lot anyway. But maybe they just felt the Valkyrie was going to be more of a thorn in the side here on Coastline, that they weren't going to be able to deal with it as they would have liked. The Vigil as well for Pero, so Kaid as well to electrify some of those walls. USG, they've been so decent throughout the two maps that we've played thus far, Villa and Oregon. Looking good again here on Coastline. They've always kind of been the team that's leading the way in this series. They've always got those match points first. They've always been winning for longer. Whereas that Kaid, of course, with the Electric Claws, and it's so far a pretty standard defensive setup actually from Donuts USG. Nothing really out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Electric Claw on that VIP external wall. Gonna make it so it's much more difficult for Palonga to get a breach. You can see BlueBees is really taking their time here, figuring out exactly how they're going to approach this. Pent Theater is probably the bomb site they would, well, almost definitely the bomb site they would spend the least time practicing, attacking. Sayachan spots out the Ramai. I mean, surely he saw it, didn't react or anything, but got to assume that he saw that player of DD. Still unpunished on this roam so far. Some blind nades, well timed throw, but still no player upstairs there in that position. Means BlueBees still yet to find an opening and yet to cover much ground either upstairs.
Yeah, only a minute 10 seconds remaining, and it's looking like that VIP wall might not get opened up at this stage. Means they're gonna have to find different avenues.
Bomb located by attackers.
Pero, not an extensive roam, stays close to sight, but that may actually work. That may catch BlueBees off guard. Alpha's gonna check both his left and his right. It's so difficult to push through that doorway. Ruin dies elsewhere to Caillou. Starting to feel like with only 40 seconds left, Ev, that this round is gonna go the way of USG.
That said, BlueBees have finally found some kind of an opening. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any kills. In fact, they seem to lose all of their players. How do you win that? Honestly, how does he win that? Isro, as Isro always seems to do, has just found a massive opening. It's 2v2. Rento now makes it a 2v1, a 1v1.
Seconds remaining.
And Palunga has to clutch here.
10 seconds.
Rento doesn't actually have the angle on him. Time. He allows him to get that plant out. Nitrocell, is it going to work? It doesn't quite find the kill. It gives information as well away.
Oh!
Pulls it out of the rabbit! The rabbit out of the hat! Wow!
Oh.
Was not expecting the round to play out in that fashion. A 5-2 advantage to a BlueBees win. Donuts USG found the first 3 kills of the round. Isro pushes onto site, makes it a 2 versus 3. Then they trade, and Palunga makes it a 1 versus 1. Gets the plant down, and wins it from there. And pulls the rabbit out of the hat, I should say, to clarify.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be putting anything out of rabbits, but BlueBees have certainly pulled that out of nowhere. That was insane. Isro, we've talked so much about that player and what he can achieve. And, I mean, sometimes that's just a round that should never have even considered being in the BlueBees column. Just get stolen away by a single player who just finds 3 1v1s on site. The trades attempt to come through from USG, and it is not enough. Massive statement that BlueBees have just made. I think they should be hoping to find a strong result on their attack in a 4-2. But it wasn't looking like that was going to be the case. It was looking like Donuts USG had really nailed some strong defense rounds home. And that gets changed here.
10 seconds remaining.
Now they're trying to fight to just have an even half.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Of course, though, attack on Coastline, you expect BlueBees to do well and to, you know, whether it's a 4-2 or whether it's a 3-3.
Oh no.
Attackers
Rento
have located a bomb.
takes out the Yana immediately. Great start to the round for Donuts USG. who would be kicking themselves for not winning the round prior. Israel just pushes straight in.
As Israel always seems to do.
No one
Just
playing
marching
down
on
below.
forward. Yeah, he's just going to wait here. I think Drone going to come up. Surely he doesn't go for a play up the stairs.
No pressure at all applied below for USG. Everyone on this second floor. They will Drone cool vibes and get info for Israel, but yeah, this is so far playing out rather interesting. Obviously, the Rotaro drones can do a lot of work. Clear out the on-site utility. Sayachan watching the rappel. So as of right now, probably no chance for Israel to just push by himself, but in position, I guess, for the late game push up cool vibes, and then they can pinch at the end of the round. Obviously down a player at the moment, so we'll see if Sayachan and Co can maybe find a kill here on site.
Oh, hello. That's an aggressive peek from Pero. Sayachan deleted off that double window.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Well, it was a 2 versus 5
worse,
in the
eh?
last round. It was a 2 versus 5 in the last round. Israel was alive. It could happen again. It's not possible. It's not likely, though. Ruin doesn't even have Israel anymore. It's a flawless
Jeez,
round.
flawless.
That was actually, I mean, it lived up to the flawless name. I don't know. It just, that didn't feel like a, that just felt like a round of nothing.
One pick here, little pick there. It's over before you know it.
I mean, it all started, I guess, with that spawn kill on Alpha, right? And then from that point onwards, Blue Bees just didn't really fire a shot. Sure, Israel pushed in towards Sunrise early, but then did nothing with it. And then Sayachan just sits on the rappel for 40 seconds and nothing happens.
Another case of isolated 1v1s. This time, Unsold Stuff Gaming does manage to get all of them. Much needed break of the momentum after Blue Bees would have been absolutely chuffed with themselves that they managed to pull off that 2v5. It's nice for USG that they can have some kind of a fire back. That said, if I was USG right now, I'd be kicking myself that hadn't won that super winnable round. This would have been a 4-2 defense. I mean, that is... 4-2 defense is almost a sure win on Coastline. If you can manage to get 4 defense rounds in the current meta where attack is looking pretty strong on this map,
yeah,
you would really be remiss to have failed that opportunity.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds remaining.
So a 3-3 half encapsulates what has been a very close best-of-3 series. It's why we've gone to this third map. This also makes it very difficult to predict out this second half. If anything, I'm probably anticipating another overtime. Blue Peas are pretty decent on the defense. They're not a pushover. I think a part of that is just the nature of their aggression defensively. These two teams play in a pretty similar manner as well, but Israel deep inside of Sunrise.
Sayachan's holding on to site with the Vigil Disruptor, making it hard for Blue Bees to actually, or rather Donuts USG to actually suss out who's on site. Oh, that's an disgusting angle. And Rent is able to find that first pick. Oh my god, what a pre-fire through the wall for Israel. Come to expect it.
Yeah, you kind of do. Two disgusting opening deaths to start this 7th round. Makes it 4 versus 4. Most importantly, though, the buck does get taken off the board. A little surprised that Pero didn't actually elect to go up above and try and open up things vertically. Instead, was looking to actually push into Sunrise. So it's a little peculiar with that one. Koal just says, hello, no one's home. Just going to walk on in. No one minding the front door. Site is open for the taking. Israel needs to make his way back over towards said site. It's falling apart here for Blue Bees defensively.
2v4 now. Desperately looking for something, but it looks like
Attackers are
Donuts
activating
USG have got this in the bag. Ruin trying to flank from inside. Oh, he's got one. Surely he can find the second here as well, right around that corner. Come on, he gets it. What are you looking at? And now Sayachan, surely there is a chance here. The denial from above, and oh my God, that got close, but USG hold on in the post.
Messy though, very, very messy of a round, both teams, right? What is BlueBees doing defensively to just leave that kitchen window so vulnerable, so open that Kawau is just like, all right, I've been standing here for 30 seconds, I may as well just go in at this point. They had so many players off-site that, again, they leave on-site so vulnerable. They did it on Oregon as well. It's just something that has become a little bit noticeable in this best of three. Something that obviously Donuts USG can start to exploit, and they have been exploiting. Yet still almost brought back. Almost, but not enough. Round goes the way of USG, and suddenly the feel of this best of three feels like it's going their way as well.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
They take the advantage on this final map and close to taking the series. Just 3 more rounds needed. I mean, you can really see why USG banned that Malusi, can't you? You can really see why they just get rid of it so that they can just exploit those opportunities. I will say I love that Aruni Gate bulletproof camera combination. Nelfa punched a hole in the soft part of the wall so that the gate would actually be in front of the bulletproof camera and protect it. Force BlueBees to clear, or rather USG to clear that out before taking down the... oh, here we go. This is going to be a spawn peek. No, just looking for drones. Ruin barricades that one back up. BlueBees, I mean, it seems to be a nice defensive setup here on Hookah Billiards, but Donuts USG will be looking, poking and prodding for any potential weakness.
Loading new mag. Camera initiated. Reloading. Adding Overwatch. Engaged.
Pero on the roam
Bomb
early.
located by attackers.
Straight into blue. But should find this kill at the bottom of Cool Vibes. For again, goes down so early. Now for the count. And again, USG with that opening kill. It's been a trend that has been trending in their favor, basically, since we left Villa. And has been somewhat of the downfall of BlueBees. Again, defensively, on Coastline, down a player. It is so difficult to manage that.
You can just see how close USG are to erupting into that side as soon as they take down Sayachan. Sayachan, though, is going to take down Carwell outside on the balcony. Phenomenal shot there, pre-firing as he went out. You can see Ruin is so keen to go for a run out here and take down that player on the window. Oh no, the magnet. The second Selma, though, should expose that Vars position. And now Palonga is feeling really heavily pressured here. Still got that shield to hide behind, but surely it's only a matter of time before USG can take it down. But Isro, always lurking, always waiting to punish, does find another one. That is man advantage BlueBees.
And again, we just go back and forth, even in the rounds, let alone the map itself. Massive elimination for Caillou. Been somewhat of an instrumental player on this roster over Oregon and Coastline. 3 versus 3, under 50 seconds remaining. Good angle from Sayachan. Converts, gets the kill onto DD and regains that one-man lead and gets the second one immediately. That should be the round from here. Even Rento, who's been so instrumental here on Coastline, from here shouldn't be able to win. Player at Cool Vibes just doesn't even need to peek, hold that position, make it so difficult to even get the plant down, make it impossible to get the plant down. Rento keeps trying, but he falls. BlueBees tie it all up once again.
Huge 4K for Sayachan as well on that round. Stepped up massively, holding on to Hookah, constantly, USG are just looking for a way to just push into sight, take that away. And they, once again, had set up to do just that. They had set up just outside hookah. They started to expose some of these default positions, netting out cool vibes, exposing Vars, using the Selmas, and Sayachan just being there, waiting with that MX4 Storm, put a stop to any notion of USG taking that round. And now Bluebees, like you say, have evened it up, 4 rounds each. And on their defense, they've proven they have some metal, but they're going to have to show us another bomb site. That second bomb site that they'll try and win now is Penthouse and Theater.
And not choosing to run the mirror either. No Kai. Oh, sorry, they do have the Kaid. I almost didn't see that one, so I was going to say, if they had left that VIP wall vulnerable, they really would have been punished. And Caillou bringing the Maverick though anyway, so this should be somewhat doable actually for USG. And Pen Theater hasn't necessarily been kind of site that's like heavily defend-decided. A lot of teams that can tend to get the VIP wall opened up early find success, but if the wall is struggled to get open, that's when there are issues for the attacking team, like we actually have already seen from Bluebees earlier on in this match.
Some unreinforced walls though on VIP does expose that VIP position where the Shield's going to try and hard hold. Rento though lurking around in the building already and looking for Isro, who may well be caught off here, playing just under the cool vibe stairs, prone in the grass. Both of these players just holding passive angles. Rento though, his position revealed, would have heard as well the telltale sound of that 416 carbine from the Jaeger ring out. Ruin also roaming down below, also with a C4, however. Just waiting for a point of ingress. This is such a tight angle. And now the Thunderbird has been spotted, but still a fantastic weapon. And holding onto this position, I'd be scared to push into.
Oh. Information though inside of VIP has been established. Pings are out.
Located a bomb.
I'm reloading.
Minute and a half remaining here in the 9th round. 4 versus 4. Alpha seeing if he can find those little tiptoes, but it's Isro flanking. Cool vibes. I mean, we literally saw it was only 5-10 seconds ago that there was 2 players standing there. Now no longer. Timing is everything.
Time's ticking though. There's not a lot left. Rento and Pero are going to make an aggressive play at top white though. This could be huge. Oh, it's red. But it doesn't matter. It seems that USG have just collapsed once again into the site. 4v2 as Palunga and Isro have to try and retake. They've got some long angles to try and get line to sight back on in. But it's going to be oh so difficult now. Palunga's the last one, trying to retake right onto the window. This just ain't going to happen. He can try stick it, but this will surely be denied. USG, come on, you've got to land the shot, my God! That got close, but they do get it in. And
2 seconds.
USG, again, they just send it on site.
But again, Dev, how many times have we seen this from Bluebees where their defense on site just honestly lets them down? Sure, they've got a decent roam game, and it's not like it was super extensive. It's not like it was 3 roaming, 2 on site. They had a lot of players around site. It's just those players continually fall too easily, way too easily. And that just makes it so much more difficult for the likes of Isro, who, you know, who is roaming, but by the time he gets back towards site, all of those defenders are gone. They're dead. There's nothing left. There's no fights happening. They just push onto site, clear out the on-site defenders, plant down, and then they worry about the last 2 that are roaming, that do then come back to site looking for a retake. They're unable to do so. They're outnumbered. They're outgunned. USG, it's been something that has honestly been the difference in this best-of-3 series, has been the poor on-site defense of Bluebees. Outside of that, everything else, It is extraordinarily close how these two teams have been, but on-site defense has been their letdown.
That's it. Now, look, I want to give some credit to USG. They time everything so well. You want to talk about how the sledge and I think it was a Twitch just like erupted into top white at the same time as the rest of USG focused on just swinging in, dropping the hatch and pressuring that site. And it means that Bluebees just have so many things to think about at once, and they're really feeling that pressure all at once. The timing from USG is really allowing these explosive executes to happen and allowing for them to steal the site from underneath Bluebees' nose.
And once again, this is actually now the third map in a row, Dev, where it's a 5-4 lead for USG. And if they win this round, it'll be the third map in a row where they will be up 6-4. And I think when you look at it in that fashion, right? 6-4 on Villa, 6-4 on Oregon, 6-4 on Coastline. Who's been the better team over the three maps? It's been Donuts USG. They get the opening pick again. Bluebees have been, honestly, a very valiant opponent. Not sure what that was from Pero. That just gives a free kill back for Bluebees.
Yeah, 4-on-4. That said, Saya-chan going down, that's the smoke. So really, really valuable asset taken out of Bluebees' defense really early on. So I'd say this does favor USG in terms of the early trade.
Adding Overwatch. Magnet active.
Easier said than done, though. D-Day, slow and cautious and slow and steady.
Oh,
got the ping.
almost got a player.
Didn't get the player, though.
You can see that the forfeit of top floor is seeming to really punish Bluebees now. There's horizontal pressure from the outside players, outside lobby, outside service. And the vertical angles, I mean, they're just driving all these players together. Finally, Nelfa finds one, finds two. Oh, Israel comes in to support. That's clutch. 2v2 now. From the 4v2, 2v1. This is not a round that Bluebees should have won. And yet they find themselves in such a strong position. DD's got to try and clutch. Here's the telltale sound of the Jaeger's carbine. But it sounds like this is going to be a massive tall order. Has a ping actually might be able to make this a 1v1. This is surely possible. Is the third angle open? I think he's actually does have an angle. Oh no, can't quite see him. If he could have taken out Nelfa there, that could have bent the round, but I don't think it's going to happen. 20 seconds left, no diffuser. 2 players to find.
And a very real opportunity now for this to go to 5-5 for the first time in this best-of-3 series. Oh. And that proximity alarm basically seals his death wish. 5-5. And while there's a part of me that feels like it's Donuts USG on the verge of moving forward to the semi-finals, Dev, we have to remember, we have to realize, if Bluebees win the next 2 rounds, that's it. They win this best-of-3 series. I don't know if it's just me, but I find that difficult to comprehend because this series has felt like it's been USG in control, somewhat in control. Not in a large portion, but still somewhat.
Bluebees are always there to throw a spanner in the works, and that's the thing that USG have been trying to desperately catch and keep up with. Bluebees will just pull something out of nothing. USG, they're not diligent enough when it comes to their advantages. They just let them slip time and time again.
As many bombs as they can.
And Bluebees are always going to be there to capitalize. You've got some great players, some fantastic fragging capability from this team, and they know that even when they're at a deficit, they've still got a very real chance of winning out that round, so they never give up. Now we find ourselves at what I like to call break point. Next round will be match point for one of these teams. We don't know which one just yet, and while I'm with you that Donuts USG has seemed, just felt, vibe like the stronger team, Bluebees has seemed to consistently steal their match points away from them.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, we think back to Villa, which feels like a lifetime ago, where
Attacker's objective is to defuse a
it
bomb.
was 4 match points that Donuts USG had, and they unfortunately let slip. Obviously on Oregon, they let one slip there as well, but not the second. This has been one of the closer best-of-3 series that I've seen in a while. Not just the fact that we've gone to a third map, we see that a lot of times, but the maps themselves within the best-of-3 series have been so close, so difficult to predict. And honestly, at the end of the day, either team now, theoretically, has probably deserved to move forward to the semi-finals. It's just a shame that one of them won't be.
I could definitely see either team winning this. Oh my god, DD. That's the first one, that's the freebie.
That's Isro.
That's why you've got to reinforce that external wall. And yes, it's the star player, Isro. That is such a detrimental blow to Bluebees.
Yeah, but they've shown the ability to come back from a deficit, though, especially on the defense here on Coastline. Yes, it's difficult, but they've at least shown us that they're capable of it. DD gets downed. Was that from a Nitrocell down below? I think it was. It would have been Ruin. But they haven't obviously got that confirmation of the player down inside of VIP, so he's going to get brought back up. And then could heal with the Adrenal Surge.
Yes. The Thinker boost is going to come through. He's going to keep spamming those to get as much health back as possible. Sayachan in such a strong position. The main line of defense. The previous time we saw Hookah Billiards, it was Sayachan who found a 4K. And he's going to need to go big here once again as USG. 4 versus 3. They have this advantage. They have so many assets. So close to pushing into this bomb site.
And that was the final Adrenal Surge from DD, obviously to heal back up, but it does mean that very late into this round, they won't have that boost. So it will be a non-factor. They'll have it for the time being, but it doesn't matter. Nalva with the headshot, that just goes straight through that Adrenal Surge. It just don't matter at that point. 3 versus 3, 40 seconds left into the round. Sayachan now takes the position over towards Cool Vibes, knows that DD's looking to come up there. Hits that barbed wire, obviously maybe expecting someone to come from Blue Bar, but it's Sayachan prone at Cool Vibes. That could be the one to stop him, not even at full health. 20 seconds.
Feels inevitable that this is going to be the round for Bluebees. They just got to hold on. 15 seconds, there's just no time. There's Sayachan again, finds one. Tries to lock in the second, but he knows he doesn't need to overextend. That said, oh no! How did this happen? Ren has stepped up.
Oh,
3 kills! They cannot believe.
Before they can maybe head to overtime. They must win this round if they are to stay in the Japan Championship. You lose here, you lose this round, and you are done.
That's a hell of a lot of pressure on Bluebees. They're going straight back to where we've seen them play before. Oh no! That's tragic! The Mute Jammer got destroyed by the impact grenade, and you know what's funny about that? That Mute Jammer, which has now been replaced by a new one, like that was the counter that Bluebees had brought to the table to try and prevent this clear of Vars that Donuts USG keep doing, which is with those Ace Selmas throwing it on that wall. That Mute Jammer is so imperative to prevent that from happening. Losing one Mute Jammer, and that's a stack of util already gone.
I don't think they'll be too worried about that as long as they don't lose a player early. They get one the other way. Ruin with the massive kill onto DD. The Thinker taken off the board. No Adrenal Surges. Opening kill. Something they haven't had for a little while. Something that they can play off to really hinder this attack of USG.
That's the first opening kill Bluebees have found on their defense all Coastline long. Surely that's going to help them out. Surely that's going to be exactly the ingredient that they needed to slow down Donuts USG on this match point. We've already seen Bluebees deny, what, 4, 5 match points from USG? What's one more?
One more can be significant. Ruin gets the Gemini information, but of course it's vice versa. Talk about heartbreak for either team. One of these two teams is going to be so disappointed, Isro. Does he have intel? One of these players pushing over towards Blue Bar. Bang. They're kind of pinched as well with Ruin over towards security. And then you've obviously got Isro inside of Sunrise. Sayachan finds the kill onto Pero. This attack of USG not looking fruitful.
Fallen apart's what it has. 3v5 now for USG. They pulled out last round in a 2v4, so I wouldn't count them out just yet.
I mean, we saw a 2v5 in this series already.
Yeah, we did. I mean, Rento's still alive, and Rento currently 15 kills, 6 deaths. That is insane. Oh, there's so much potential there for Isro. Oh my god, the trade's got to come through. Come on, Carwow should be able to pre-fire this. He does get it, and there's no trade back again, at least not yet. Rento there to cover and make sure that Carwow can get back to safety, but he is so low.
35 seconds left, but at least they get rid of Isro. But yeah, as you said, Carwow is so incredibly low. Not going to be able to expect much from him, but Rento.
Oh, the nade.
Oh, the nade as well from Rento. He has had some big late round clutches. Denied though, at Cool Vibes, but Caillou, he's in sight. He's got a bit of help from Carwow to 1v1 to see if maybe Donuts USG can go to the semi-finals. Ruin's so low on health, he gives the position. The Nitrocell, it got stuck on the wall. And now he is stuck in Cool Vibes with no health. The cross has been made. He knows he's behind the shield though, has him pinched, and he loses the fight anyway! Donuts USG move on to the semi-finals!
What a insane game from these two teams. From losing their own map pick of Villa, Donuts USG come